Hello and welcome to my live. Tonight I've got some beautiful gifts from a sister that I love so much. She sent me some citrine and amethyst. I'm very grateful for that. So I've been holding this energy and my lapis lazuli. This energy is about speaking your truth. And citrine, which I got as a gift, was a very unexpected gift. And the citrine is about having that inner strength to speak your truth. And amethyst, we know, is for the crown chakra and third eye, and it's opening up your higher levels, your higher awareness, right? Conscious communication, divine speak. So these are the energies that are here tonight. And I want everybody to understand that tonight is going to be more of a lecture, more of me just expressing what my recent posts have been about and why my dramatic shift out of the Guardian Alliance teachings and back into my centered and my wholeness, right? Being balanced. Hi, and thank you all for joining me, and thank you for being here in your presence. I'm a little nervous because this is a big shift, and it's something that that I know I'm going to get scrutinized on, and it's hard for me. Being a target isn't necessarily my favorite thing. I don't think anybody likes to be the dart, the dartboard, all the darts getting thrown at them, right? But this is what it's going to be like. And everything that I'm going to say is nothing new. It hasn't not been said before. It's as old as time. Tale as old as time, right? It's old as time. But to get to this point, we are entering a time of complete awareness, complete awakening. And what happens is that we go through a point where we're purging out everything that isn't us, right? The not self, right? We're purging out the not self. But another thing that we need to understand is that humanity's been conditioned by stories. There's stories, star lores, right? Star lores are stories. Stories are what engage us in life. When somebody reads us a book, right? We're listening to the story. Somebody tells us about what's going on with their life. We listen to their story, right? So it's what engages humanity. And Hollywood is no different. It's all stories to engage us, to intrigue us, right? Into going deeper or fantasizing, right? This is all neurological programming. This is psychology at its best, okay? We are infinite creators. Plain and simple. You are an infinite creator. You are an aspect of source. We're all aspects of God's source, right? Universal oneness, wholeness, the almighty, whatever you want to call it. Universal love, okay? We're all aspects of source, okay? And so with this, we incarnated as all aspects of source. There was 144,000 original core fractals of source that incarnated, okay, into physical manifestation in the third density, okay? To have the experience of the not self. All right. This includes not even really a third density. We actually incarnated into the eighth density, and then we fell into the seventh and sixth and fifth and fourth and third. Okay, so we've been falling. It's called the Dissension of Consciousness for a reason. We are an embodiment of the planet itself. We are the planet, okay? We're her eyes, we are her ears, we are her mind, we are her all, right? Except for she's the massive body. And then we have subtle bodies, right? That are of Gaia, okay? Of the earth, whatever you want to call it, Earth, okay? And those are, her subtle bodies are externalized as the planets. Everything that is within us manifests externally for us to see what we are creating and what we are. Nothing is outside of you, okay? It is and it isn't. It is because we are on a collective level are projecting it into the holographic reality along with all of the stories to engage us, to grab us, right? To pull at our heartstrings, okay? To, guide us in our paths, to go as far away from source as possible. The stars, the cosmos, all of that, I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. They are a manifestation of our inner body. They're a manifestation of our internal, okay? They are the plasma. They are the cities of light within. In the Hindu culture, Indian culture, this is referred to as the 144,000 cities of Shambhala. Okay, each one of these stars, the main stars, and I know there's billions of stars because we all each represent a speck of DNA. Okay, billions and trillions of stars because we all reflect a speck of DNA. Okay, a speck of DNA. Okay, so there's billions of stars. We are all one of these stars, but there's also the 144,000 core fractals and core cities of light within, which there's more. There's sub-cities within the cities. Okay, so there's main cities, just like, Florida's got Orlando, and then Orlando's got all these subdivisions, right? Or San Diego's like, oh, let's go to San Diego. Where do you live? Oh, well, it's not San Diego. I live in Chula Vista, or whatever. I live in La Jolla, or I live in OB, or whatever. But these are all sub-cities around the main city, okay? Just like the Pleiades have like 7 sisters, but there's like main one is Alcyon, right? Or we have Sirius, and the main one is Sirius B, but there's Sirius A and C, and there's all these other sub-cities, okay? Just like there's 144,000 core fractals, there are also sub-fractals, okay? These are all external manifestations. Now I'm going to get into the fun shit, okay? And there's a lot to this. I'm going to sum it up. Okay, I'm going to sum it up. This is what I'm saying has not been said before. It has been said before, just in many different ways, and usually in some like metaphoric way or mystical way or some proverb. Okay, just some easy, digestible way for people to understand it, or more so, understand it, to grasp it. Okay, so, anyways, okay, so where was I at? Okay, yep. So the everything that we're feeling inside, we manifest externally. We are collectively programmed, and we chose this. You are not a fucking victim. Get that out of your head. No victims in here, okay? Thank you. Oh, my language. Whatever. I cuss. So anyways, we are not victims. You are not a victim, okay? All these aliens do not fucking exist. I know nobody wants to hear that because so many people make money off of this. Hollywood coined it. We have fallen from stages of density, okay, dimensions that were in a higher vibration of light, not so much physical manifestation, not so much matter, okay? Matter is like first density is single-celled amoebas. Second density is, 2 cells, right? So we're dealing with like seahorses and plant life and some insects, right? That's second density. Third density is human consciousness, okay? So we have consciousness here that's fight or flight, and it knows, okay? It knows what is going on, and it sees, and it's able to comprehend and compute, right? Lions get the fight or flight, right? Some animals have developed, more consciousness in their brain, right? Their brain has developed. That's the third realm, right? And then we have fourth dimension where it's the souls, where the angelics are at, right? The soul frequency. This is where when people pass, this is where consciousness is. This is also where the quantum field is. Okay, this is where that quantum field, where all thought, the web of all of us connect, right? That's where all of our fields of thought and emotion combine, right? So that's the fourth dimension. And then the fifth, and that's gross matter, a little bit of gross matter and etheric light. Okay, fifth dimension is, again, etheric and gross matter, which is density. Okay, but it's a lighter and it's non-attached duality. There's no duality, right? So it's non-attached. It's at one-ment. They're at peace, at one-ment with the all, okay? Acceptance of the all. All right, so this alien idea, what it is representing is, let me get this, okay? I don't need all kinds, just hear me out. All right, so aliens don't exist in the form of Hollywood aliens. That's a no-go. How it works is the further that we raise in our own awareness, okay, as a collective and individually, or if we do drugs, okay, then we're able to tap in mentally, audio, or visually, okay, or sense it, however, or know it, right, with our supernatural senses, okay? And so when somebody says like, oh, well, I saw this gray and this is what it looked like, because this is an aspect of us. Any of these aliens are just us, just like the stars are just us. They're a higher vibrational frequency of us. They are not anything but us. And when they're communicating with us and they're coming up like all demon-like, like reptilian energy, it is because those are aspects of ourselves that we are rejecting, we are neglecting, and we are not wanting to own, okay? We're not wanting to own those aspects of the self. We're saying they're demonic, they're bad, you can't embody that, they're sucking my life force. You're honestly losing your own life force because you're giving your power away to say that something is sucking your life force. It's not. It's asking for you to see me, to love me. Just like the inner child, okay, wanted to be seen and loved, so does the reptilian aspect, so does your gray aspect. All of these aspects want to be loved. And the whole purpose of us pushing them away was us to push ourselves away, as far away from all of our aspects of self, source, God, energy, as possible, to slingshot forward into an awakening. Okay? When we raise in frequency, our body's frequency, when we embody more light, okay, not just connect with consciousness, because you can get high as shit. You can get high and you can connect to the 12th dimension. You can connect to Source God when you're super dope and high and rolling on LSD and mushrooms and ayahuascas and whatever else. And that's beautiful in its extent, but it's not a permanent fix, okay? It's not a permanent fix. It's not an embodied. To embody it means to reprogram your cellular molecular structure, your psychology, okay, your mind. It's about releasing all of the programs, the miasms, okay, the ancestral genetic karmic residue in your DNA that we've carried over, okay, from in the bloodline, okay, you have incarnated into lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. So you have all of these residues, all of these memories from the fall of your awareness or your consciousness. So the dissension, the descending of consciousness into the third dimension. And as we raise our frequency and embody, not just have a trip on our favorite rocket ship, you know, going through the skies, little Einsteins, okay? So not just when we do trips, when we fully embody that, then we come into the awareness that we are all, for one, and as we ascend that consciousness, we start communicating with all of the aspects of ourselves. And if those communications are coming in clear and not distorted, not in fear, like, oh my God, they're sucking me, they're probing me, they're getting in my butt, ah! They're in my brain, ah! Like when we're like that, no, you're in fear. You're scared that somebody's going to take you away. You're going to die. That's fear. That's separation. That's cognitive dissonance. Okay? And it's okay. We all have gone through it. I've fucking gone through it. I feel like that's the entire reason of the Guardian Alliance teachings, is to take you as far away from source consciousness as possible to slingshot you forward. Chaos, is fear. If you feel that you need to wake up every day and you have to do a certain mantra and you have to do certain breathing techniques, otherwise you're going to run reversals and you're going to get sucked into dust, into a false matrix and turned into space dust, I'm sorry, that's fear. That is third dimensional programming. Release it. You are God's source. You are the ultimate power. You are God incarnate. Incarnate means to be in the flesh and blood. You are God's source incarnate. We are here at this time of a great revealing, a great awakening, where we realize that we are one. We are God and we are one. Okay? That whenever we raise into frequency, we start connecting with our Arcturian self, with our gray or Rigel, okay? Rigel self, okay? With our Draconian self, with our Lyran self, with our Syrian self, okay? With all aspects of self, with our Andromedan self, with our Vega self, with Orion selves, okay? With all versions of self, to include Earth, the planet Earth, to include Tara, to include Gaia, to include all ancestrals, to include all archetypes. All of them we are. You are no different than I am, other than you showed up physically, manifested as a separate entity, a different faculty of God's source incarnate. You're here to clear up a certain amount of genetic residue from the mass quantum field in the fourth dimension, the soul monad, the astral realm. That's it. These aliens, the reason, we see the same ones. How could that be? We've had sightings. No, my love. You have had outer body astral projections. Okay? You have consciously projected yourself into your other selves. People don't understand this. We're not taught the multidimensionality. We're not taught multidimensionality, the way that it is actually embodied. We're fragmented from it, and that's our own choosing. We chose to be ultimate creators, to manifest ourselves here, to have the ultimate game of the not self, which self is source, by the way, of not source. And so every cataclysmic event that we've had, it is to take us down a dimension, down a level, or denser, further away from light, further away from Christ consciousness, the 12th dimension. Christ consciousness. Yes, we have tons of esoteric teachings. Yes, we have all this taboo. We have incarnated as multi-dimensional beings, fully aware of their God presence. We created a mathematics system, the golden mean, golden ratio, that is a self-eating, self-depleting, okay, mathematics system that took from itself, like we have, which means to fractalize from itself, creating the subdivision. San Diego started out as a main city in San Diego, okay? I'm not going to get technical. I'm just using it as a damn example. San Diego, California. It started as San Diego, California. And then it got so big, we needed subdivision cities to live in, right? And that's not how it started, but I'm just using an example. Okay, we needed subdivision. That is fractalizing. It plays out on the macro, because we have to see it to believe it, because we're ultimate creators, and that's what this world is. It's a holographic projected reality for us to manifest all of our desires and creations into our physical, tangible reality. That's what this is. And the more we raise in our conscious awareness, the more we have connection to these higher realms, the more we can visualize in our third eye, which third eye means having the full awareness, the imagination, the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and the neocortex or hypothalamus, right? 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th chakras here, okay? So once we start activating these, or either by doing the work in this life, or have done it in past lives and incarnated into the genetic lineage that had that active in the DNA, okay, and so there was a natural, easy ability for you, or you had to clear some residue in this life to activate it because there was fear, right, trauma that you experienced, you shut it down. And so as you come in and you become more aware of this, and you start to embody, meaning that you activate more of your true DNA and you release that shadow frequency. Okay, the shadow frequency is the carbon base, the 666. It's 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons. It's super simple. All the other shit out there is literally, it serves a purpose. Everything serves a purpose. All transmissions serve a purpose. Even the Guardian Alliance serves a purpose. This is a world of duality. We've been living in a world of duality, and we're closing the duality. We're closing the Piscean age, okay? We're coming into the Aquarian, the breakthrough, the sudden awareness, the ahas, okay? The non-attached, the non-attachment to all the duality, right? So this energy and all the transmissions, whether it be astrology, human design, gene keys, Guardian Alliance, Tesla, whatever goes on, Sophianic, all of the Hindu teachings, Buddha, Tao, all of them serve purpose. They've all been building blocks, okay? Building blocks to build awareness back. Okay, and that took a lot of structure in lower forms of density. It took structure because we had to be dedicated. We had to solidify it into the body through multiple beings. And so we had to have structure, rigid, dogmatic structure, so that we could stick to it. And it was part of the becoming. We did the unbecoming, and then so we had to go through the stages of devotion, which is becoming. Okay, and now we're in this point where it's a full awareness. And I am not the only one that knows this, but it's my time to talk about it from my perspective in the way that I digest it. Okay, doesn't mean that, like, when somebody says, again, I've seen the same person, I've seen the same aliens, I've said this too, I've seen that same thing. But another thing is, being a psychic aware person that I am, when somebody is telling me a story, I can literally see through my mind's eye what the heck that person is wearing. I can see what surrounds them. I can see the city around them. I can tell them the street signs. And I can tell them if they're the person that's holding the gun that shot their husband. And they'll hang up on me because that's happened. Okay? Because they are me and I am them. And not only that, but we're connected to a quantum field, a web. Your thoughts are not your own. Your thoughts are not your own. You have subconscious programming that is patterned in your sleeping giant, your body. Your body holds these subconscious patternings that make up your base hardware, okay? And then your social cultural programming that you get from your society, your family, your friends, your schooling, your religions, right? All of that. And then we have to deprogram all of that, okay? When we come into this awareness, we have to deprogram that and find the self. But guess what? Whenever you come into spirituality, spiritual enlightenment, you're like, oh my God, I've had my awakening. Now I'm going to study this practice. I'm going to study that practice. You are taking on more beliefs that we are here to release. We are here to release all forms of dogmatic practice, okay? Meaning that if it says you've got to do this and you've got to do that, you've got to let it go. It's time to transcend it all. We are here to transcend it all, to come into unity. Unity meaning you and I are one. I am not going to reject you. I am not going to blame you. None of that. I'm not going to say, well, you don't know the Bible, so you're going to go to hell and damnation. Or, better yet, you don't know the Guardian Alliance. You're not part of the Christic. You're going to go to space dust. If you follow that Metatron, right? Dogmatic, okay? Just like Metatron teachings, right? But they played a purpose. The Guardian Alliance, they play a purpose. The purpose is there was only one thing known, the Sumerian, right? The ancient Egyptian, right? That's all that was known, right? So that's what humanity was going to cling to until we had an opposing light, right? That came in and said, well, wait. This is the truth. This is what really happened, which comes and has a lot of alignment to what really did happen. And I'm not saying that there's truth in all stories, just like there's truth in all mythologies. There's purpose for it though, okay? the inner mechanics of it. Every transmission comes with an underlining mechanic, an underlining gnosis. The gnosis was to go inside, okay? Was to see that we've only been living a fractal aspect of our wholeness, okay? And that there are other ways in which we can breathe in and transpire transcend the DNA. And also people that are like, oh, well, I'm Christic. I'm part of the Christic community, but I don't study the after 2012 because I don't do plasma body. Then you're not dealing with your internal traumas, and you're not dealing with the earth, and you're not dealing with the bloodlines, and you're just dealing with the airy-fairy light body, okay? Which is your aura, which we needed to understand. You need to have energetic hygiene. That was the whole concept behind the light body. Understand energetic hygiene. Understand that 6 feet circumference is your aura until you expand it with an awareness or spiritual gnosis, and you create barriers. You create healthy, hygienic energy around you. Internal, after post 2012 plasma body teachings are all about going internal. It relates the internal world, okay, or the earth, the mantle, the core, the aquifers, right, to the fascia, to the blood, to the plasma, to the bone marrow, to the cosmos, to the chronosphere, to the ionosphere. So that was the whole point of it. The story is what engages people. Just like in books, right? These old Ring Around the Rosies, Pocket Full of Posies, Ashes, Ashes, We All Fall Down. These old stories, right, that were told, these proverbs. So there's this underlining educational understanding in all mythology and all stories. These stories are no different. But people, okay, they're programmed through Hollywood. Okay, through their social cultural programming, the Western world, which is awesome, sci-fi, fantasy, love it, but it's not the truth. The truth is whenever you connect to, and you see a being and you're like, oh my God, I've connected to a reptilian, or I've connected to a dragon, or I've connected to a fairy or a gnome or whatever it have be you, or a lion, I'm a freaking lion, I'm a lyran. You're connecting to an aspect of you. And the reason why you can see the same images or similar images is because we're connected to a quantum field, and your thoughts are not your own. You're tapping into a frequency, like whenever you turn on a radio, AM, FM, and XM. Okay, AM, shadow, FM, fourth dimension. Okay, fourth dimension is FM radio. Good jams, still have some commercials, disturbances, because demonic frequency is there too. What is demonic frequency, Carrie? Demonic frequency is thought forms that have not been loved, they've been rejected. Okay, shame, guilt, blame, anger, frustration, fear. Fear frequency is there along with love, loving thoughts, angelic thoughts. Fourth dimensions, FM radio. You can catch it all, plus the commercials. XM radio is when you're connecting to the higher. XM radio means you got to pay for that subscription, right? You got to pay for that. Or you buy a car, or you get a car that's brand new and it's got a year subscription or whatever to it. You're paying for that subscription, okay? Meaning that you've paid your dues. You've done the work. You've cleared out the karmic residue out of your body, and now you're connecting to the higher frequencies, your higher echelons. You've turned on your neocortex. You've rerouted your neurological pathways. You've debugged the parasites in the brain, in the heart, in the gut. So you've taken the parasites out, right? The parasitical thoughts. Everything has purpose. Even parasites have purpose. If you didn't have parasites in your gut, you wouldn't know that you were giving your personal power away, your solar plexus, your personal power, your will to action. Okay, so this is all purposeful because we are in the 6th planetary initiation. This is the embodiment, the avatar embodiment. What is avatar embodiment? This is the Buddhic state. This is whenever all the third, second, and first chakra condense into the heart. The heart opens, the soul, okay, opens, and then it rises into the higher heart, or the Buddhic state. Buddha, compassion, all-knowing, oneness, middle way, your way, eight limbs of path, right? the Buddha. He's an avatar. So was Sananda or Yeshua or Jesus. So was Mary. So was White Buffalo Woman. So was Kuan Yin. So was so many incarnated greats that aren't even listed in the books these days. Okay, these are all avatars, meaning that they are the highest level of they hold the highest level of consciousness that can be embodied in physical form. This is known as a bodhisattva, okay, which means that they sacrifice their rainbow body, turning into dust and going into the next dimension to go into higher frequency above the fourth and above the fifth, going into seventh, eighth, and ninth dimension. Okay, they sacrifice that and they stay back for humanity to be the ones that sit upon the throne as gurus. They don't ever want to be a guru, though. They just get gurued. Okay, and people get in their energy and their aura field and they're healed. Right? Just like there's places on this planet that you can go to where Mary was said to live, right? And touch the water, and now you're healed because their energy is still there in that field. Okay? This is truth. There's no voodoo, hoodoo, black magic to this. I've healed over 200 people just being in my field. I've healed so many people that couldn't walk, neurological damage, like epilepsy, all kinds of rashes, all kinds of stuff, elephantitis in the leg, you name it, fungus, all kinds of things. I've healed a lot of people just from being in my field, not even fully embodied, just having a higher frequency. Okay, the Buddhic body is where we move into the higher heart, and you embody the highest state of consciousness, able to be in etheric and matter, which is fifth dimension. You have turned on your fifth DNA strand and it is activated fully in the body. And that means more of your junk DNA, the celestial silicate matrix DNA, fire codes, because RNA is fire, okay? RNA is the fire codes. DNA is the magnetic. RNA, sun. DNA, earth. That's how that works. Okay, and so more of those fire codes or silicate matrix junk DNA are able to adhere to the magnetic fourth and fifth dimensional strands, because there's not shadow frequency carbon-based 666, the mark of the beast, the 666 attachment. Okay, it's not there. So like attracts like. Because the junk DNA was a higher frequency and there was blocking shadow fear-based frequency, the like couldn't attract to the fifth and fourth dimensional strand until they got rid of the shadow frequencies. Now that silicate matrix DNA gets to adhere to the fourth and fifth dimensional strand, which creates in your DNA, okay, new amino protein acids, which calls for you to eat more light, less dense, no meat, no dairy, none of that GMO shit. Okay, none of that, so that your body can be in light, so that you can have higher frequency. Not only that, so you start creating new amino acid structures, you start taking on new shape. New amino acid structures means new shape, new geometric shape. You start shape shifting. The way that you look, the way that you glow, your presentation, your aura, your pheromones, everything about you becomes more magnetic because your DNA is magnetic and it's calling in more light. What are we surrounded in? A holographic world of light, of frequency. Everything is sound, light, frequency. And so you start calling in more frequency. More people start being drawn to you to heal, to hear your messages, to be in that resonance. Okay, even if they don't, they fight it. Okay, that is what we're experiencing right now on a collective level. And the 144,000 core fractals must experience it first. They will embody the fifth DNA strand. You can have your fifth dimension consciousness active. You can have 12th dimensional consciousness active and only have a three and a half DNA strand active, or fourth DNA strand active, embodied into the body. But you'll have awareness of it. But it's the embodiment of that DNA strand that matters. Okay? That is why It is so important to work with your traumas, to understand your triggers, to work with your psychology, to not put anything outside of you, not your power, not your awareness, not your prayers. You are God's source. You command. I command my reality. I visualize it, I feel it, and I actualize it that way because I gnosis it. Okay, so people say there's aliens, they're making money, and a lot of people are ego-based, which means they're greed. They were rejected. They don't know how to deal with their rejection, so they got to be popular. They got to be liked. They got to be wanted. Why do you think any of the greats from the past don't say there's aliens? Because they're fully aware that it is them in higher consciousness. And when it projects into your reality as a holographic form, you are communicating with you and your kin, your oversoul monad. And they are coming into your reality, and you're able to perceive them with your eyes because you have that faculty of your mind, okay, of your neocortex, your hypothalamus, all of this active. And so you're able to see it and be aware of it. Well, if it's fear, what if they're projecting as fear and all up in your face? It's because that's something that you need to face and you've been resisting. Well, if it's love and it's angelic, beautiful. Embrace that angelic aspect of you and own it. But it's not outside of you. It is you. Okay? If it's showing up as an archetype of the past, then that's an archetype that you embody. You embody like specific archetypes and whatever shows up in your reality. Okay? Some people are more cosmically, I'm more celestial attuned, I'm more this, and I'm more dragon, or I'm more fairy. That is the levels that they are connecting to within themselves. Right? These are all also inner realms of earth. What do you mean, Carrie? You're saying that we're the only consciousness that exists in this world, in this cosmos? No. But again, this is a holographic projected reality. And what is within the earth projects externally from what our eyes can see and what our thoughts manifest. And I just wanted to be clear with that. I know I've been sitting on this for about a month, just been playing with it, tossing it back and forth. But this is it. Everything is energy. These holographic projections, when you see these aliens, other aspects of self coming in, or your ancestral celestial family manifesting, it is letting you know that you have now accessed these levels, right? They're coming through with all these messages. Don't get the messages twisted that they're for everybody else. They're for you. They're for you. And there's a lot of false prophets right now that are banking money off of this. It is just the truth. It's my truth. You can take it or you can leave it. That is your choice. For me, this is about accepting everything and rejecting no thing. I reject something, I reject myself. That doesn't mean that somebody that comes and they're blasting me or gaslighting me or yelling at me like, I don't believe this, you shouldn't be saying that. I don't have to listen to an old reflection of me. That is also me. It is an old aspect of me that I'm no longer in resonance with. And it's coming to show me like, hey, I love you. I see you. I'm not there anymore. I'm here. And that's okay. And you're not my mirror anymore, and I can walk away. And I can love you and I can hold space for you, and you'll get here in your own time. And that's okay. Right? Doesn't mean that you have to play with these people either. You don't have to. Okay? A lot of people threw stones at Jesus, right? They didn't believe him. Compassion, love, understanding, integrity, truth, compassion, grace. We've got Neptune in grace. She's been in grace for almost 2 years. Okay? Neptune represents spirit. Neptune is up here. It's your third eye and crown. Okay? This faculty It's spirit. Uranus, up here. Cosmic God. Okay, it's your higher chakras, higher awareness. Pluto, soul. We have Jupiter going over Pluto in November, December. Okay, this is spirit. This is Jupiter represents higher spiritual awareness, higher spiritual gnosis, understanding. Pluto represents the soul. So this is the Buddhic body. This is us going from the soul, the heart, and into the higher heart. So Jupiter crossing over the heart, the soul, and moving into the higher heart. And then Jupiter going over Saturn, which is time, space, which is us transcending all time and all space, all reality, all structures of form and government and control, patriarchy. Okay? This is spirit transcending that, understanding and seeing it for what it is, what it served, and what we're here to create anew. Okay. So as the 144,000 core fractals embody that fifth DNA strand, their subfractals, the billions of subfractals that are around, will have that ripple effect. Just like whenever you throw a rock into a pond, it has a ripple effect. The rock was the first one to sink to the bottom, right? And the ripples ripple out to the shores to touch the land. It is the same thing. Why they say to do the work, to do your work, you doing your inner work, your healing, your shadows, your trauma is the most important work, because that ripple effect. Because whatever you heal for you, it ripples out into the collective, and you open the door for others to embody that as well, to heal themselves. All of this duality is nothing more than to pull you as far away from source self as possible, to slingshot you forward. I have been on my journey for 3 years. I had a massive slingshot forward. Thank you, Guardian Alliance. Do I adhere to the stories? No. Do I take into account what the transmissions bring through? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I see it as an external manifestation? No, I do not. Is it all internal? Yes, it is. There are 144,000 cities with sub-cities. Inner Earth. Inner Earth. Eartha, Agartha. Let's get it real. Alhambra, look it up. It means root. What is the Alhambra Council? They are the Red Council. They are the core. They are the ones running this. Alhambra means red dirt. It is the core. It is the core of Earth. It's a core of Earth Council. It just comes through people's perceptions. It comes through other people's lenses. There is no person here that is more mighty or more bestowed with the rights and knowledge than another. There's not. There's nobody here that is more mightier than thou or higher than thou at all. We're all equal here, opening doors, opening awareness, and embodying our source again to play on this beautiful, beautiful reality of Earth, to play out here, to create the crystal cities. The Aurora host are the Aurora Borealis lights. The Aurora lights, the inner earth beings, all of these different beings that they talk about, these are all inner earth beings that have been discussed in all fables, all Nordic myths, mythology, Celtic mythology. Okay, all of these mythologies have all talked about these inner earth beings in one form or fashion or another. This is just the new age way of bringing it back, bringing the memory back, which it serves a purpose to activate the memory. Had I not had my experience with the Guardian Alliance teachings, I would not be here. But I will be letting y'all know that it does serve a purpose with the Christic teachings and understanding the 12 tree. Okay, that was the missing piece. And she talks about it too in the forms of wave and light spectrum coming together. The pink light and the blue light coming together, creating the ultraviolet light. That is your crown awakening. Okay, the pink and the blue, the masculine, the feminine coming together. Come on. It's really simple. The more complex it is, the further away from source it is. It is simple. You are God. Remember that. And that is enough. I love you guys. Please share. Please like. Loving comments only. If you have something to discuss about this, sit with it. I'm not here to answer everybody's questions. I've had my own journey. I'm sure you're on yours. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. I'm not here for everybody. I was here for me, and this was my message. I love you. Have a great night.